What is going on, everyone? Welcome to our Week 8 episode for Hit the Books. Today is Thursday, October 24th. We got Week 8 of the NFL on the slate. NBA is officially tipped off. NHL is now underway. We have the World Series going for Game 1 on Friday. We're going to get into all of that, plus a little bit on the world of college football as college football continues to heat up down the stretch. Leading up to that 12-man playoff that everyone's excited to see for the first time. No Jesse this week. He is away for work. Mackie is going to be joining us in a little bit. Just me and Ace to start. Ace, what is going on? Week 8 in the NFL. How you been?
Yeah, I mean, you said it great. This is the best time of sports, in my opinion. I think I saw something crazy like 40-plus NHL games, 40-plus NBA games. You're in another week of the NFL, college football. You have the World Series starting up. This is my favorite time. I'm going to rank it ahead of March Madness. I think Mackey's still got to wipe up those tears from the Mets loss, so he's going to be joining us a little bit later here. There's so much going on here. I'm excited to dive in. Another great week.
Yeah, we'll jump right into. We'll start out in the NBA. Obviously, like we said, NBA season got tipped off last night. Last week, we kind of went through who we liked for the finals, Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and a couple of I know we went through the divisions as well. I assume, do you like your Celtics to repeat against who? If you want to give that intake first, we're going to get into who we like for the MVP and some of these individual player awards.
Yeah, love to hear that. And you said it right. The Celtics are on a crash course for a repeat. I don't think there's anybody even close to challenging them right now. Clear-cut favorites. I took them last night. You guys were dying to get the Knicks on. Mackie thought I was just spiting him by throwing the Celtics on the card, but I knew how good they are. And now they have that chip on their shoulder.
That's
all
just
of America
spot,
and the basketball world did this. They sparked the Jason Tatum MVP conversation, even if he doesn't win it. They sparked a great year out of him and a superstar who was already first-team All-NBA. Now you're making him get better because he has a chip on his shoulder. Jaylen Brown, who Giannis just said is the best player in the NBA, chip on his shoulder. Whole team returns, coaching returns. They're a year older, and they're still a young team. I think they're ready to go. A lot of guys coming off the Olympics, too. And last night they showed that by shooting so many threes, shooting the lights out. Over 100 points in the third quarter. Easily could have put up over 150 if they kept the medal there. But I think this team's ready to go. Outside of the Celtics, though, who do I think can press them? I think the Denver Nuggets are that team because of Nikola Jokic and who he has around him. I think that's the only team that I would be worried about to see if I'm the Celtics. Then other than that, I'll give you a dark horse pick, kind of a team that I feel like is slept on for some reason, but it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo after Nikola Jokic is the only one in the NBA who I think can knock off these Celtics. I don't think all these other teams that are put together are good enough to do it because the Celtics are deeper than them. But these superstars like Giannis and Jokic, those are guys I look to make an impact in a series against them if they see each other.
Yeah, and we'll get right into those are two guys in the top list for the MVP. Regular season MVP this year. We'll go through the odds here. Luka, the favorite, at plus 350. SGA, plus 400. Jokic, 475. Giannis, plus 850. Your boy, Jason Tatum, 10-1. Anthony Edwards, 12-1. And Mackey's Jalen Brunson, 14-1. And then I'm going to say the next name just because he's my favorite. Wemby, 20-1.
That's great odds on Wemby, honestly. I think it's a little too early.
But I think it's a nice price to throw as a long shot, and I don't think he's going to do it because the team's not good enough. Mm-hmm. But if that team's in a playoff picture, it's because he's carrying.
Yeah, and he's a stat sheet stuffer, so he could definitely earn his way there. I still think he's a little far off. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum for the reason I said before, the chip on the shoulder, him getting better. He needs to add more accolades because everybody keeps tripping him into doing it. If you just let him be, then somebody else is winning that award this year.
I like that because he's gone out of his way to say that he honestly really wants the NBA MVP. So I like that price on him at 10-1. Obviously, he's on arguably the best team in the NBA, the defending champions.
Is he even in his prime yet?
I think I think last year. I mean, how old is he? 27?
Yeah, like think about the other NBA superstars though. Think about other NBA superstars that they don't hit their peak until after 26, 27, 28, and he's already that resume is full.
If last year wasn't the first year, I'd say you'd have to say this year is the first.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to me how young he is and how much he's already accomplished.
So I'd say 37-point performance last night in Game 1 against your rival and the team that everyone's saying is built they built this offseason to beat the Celtics. You come out and hit almost a league record
blow
in
the
threes,
brakes off of them,
or an NBA record in threes in opening night, and they missed it by 1. I like Tatum there at 10-1. I'm gonna sit there right with you. I don't Obviously, I'll give my Anthony Edwards praise here. 12-1. I don't think that's high enough. I'd like to see him sitting around where Brunson is at 14-1. Maybe even Brunson. I don't think that's a good price. I'd want higher on him, but just too many pieces on that Knicks team now. I don't think he's going to have to do it himself. I think Karl Anthony Towns adds depth to that team. They don't have much coming off the bench. That's the only thing that scares me about that Knicks team. And Mikal Bridges didn't look like I don't know what he did to his jump shot, but I'm worried about that. I thought that team was going to come in and click a lot quicker. Yeah. I thought that team was going to come in and kind of click just because of the vibes they had all offseason, but I was totally wrong there. Give me Tatum. Give me maybe Wemby as a long shot if you want to throw like a half, whatever you're throwing on Tatum on Wemby. I mean, you hit one of those, you're getting plus 1,000 and plus 2,000. So I like those odds there.
Yeah, I expect a little bit of regression. You're talking about Anthony Edwards, great player. I think his career arc is going to keep going up, but I don't know. I feel like he might fall off a little bit this year, and then come back the year after. He's got a long career ahead of him.
He's already getting like the hype that they want him to be like the face or face of the NBA.
A lot of pressure for him.
Like they kind of want him, in my opinion, to be what they wanted Ja Morant to be, and then Ja Morant went and flashed a gun on Instagram
multiple times.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like Anthony Edwards is like that perfect. Like I mean, Anthony Edwards is better than Ja Morant, but like. Do you know what I mean? Like they were forcing Ja Morant and Zion Williamson down our throat 5 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever that was. You don't see Ja Morant on anything anymore ever since the gun stuff. I feel like that's kind of what they want. And Anthony Edwards is playing right into it. The Olympics, it was great. All the stuff with him and Kevin Durant. I do agree. I'm not gonna go out of my way and vouch for him to get the MVP. I think this is Tatum's year to get it. SGA at 4-1. I don't get that. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Because last year he was supposed to be that guy to get that award. One guy I was even going to tell you to look at, I don't know though, just because SGA overshadows him, and I think neither of them win it for this reason. But that is Chet Holmgren. I think he's eventually going to push like Wembanyama. I know they're pretty young, but guys like that can push for the MVP. But I don't know. It's probably not going to be a long shot. Realistically, the two that I think have the best chance of winning are Tatum and Luka. I just think they're the two best players in each conference. So
yeah.
That's not a bad pick either.
Yeah. NBA Rookie of the Year, Zach Edey, 3-1. Risha Shea, that was the kid that was the first overall pick in Atlanta, 8-1. Reed Shepherd, 8-1. Sarr, 10-1. And Matas Buzelis for the he's also tied with Dalton Connect of the Bulls and of the Lakers at 10-1.
I wish Dalton Connect played a little bit more because he could definitely push for that award. I think he's going to be a great piece to a Lakers team that's going to have a successful year after we saw that win last night. I just think it's going to be storybook with the father-son duo. But back to this Rookie of the Year award. I mean, I'm going to go Edey. I don't have much of a play on this week. Not necessarily a weak rookie class, just an unknown. You don't know who's going to show up. And I'm going to pick the guys who get big minutes. But give me a better take here since you're such a college basketball guy.
Yeah, the only other one I'd jump on, I do like Edey to win this. I think you're getting a good price at him because he's coming in to be a true piece on that Grizzlies team. They've obviously haven't had they have Jaren Jackson. Edey's coming in to play that 5 there. I don't know if he's going to be starting. I haven't looked too much into this, but I assume by the end of the year he's going to be their starter. I don't see any value in Risha Shea. I'm not big on that Hawks team. The one I do like is Reed Shepherd. I think Houston is going to be a playoff team this year. Sitting at maybe it's play in, playoff, whatever you want to say. 10 teams make the playoffs. I think Houston is going to be one of those 10 teams. I don't think they're going to be bad. I think Reed Shepherd, Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, they have some very nice pieces on that Rockets team, and if they're all clicking, a very good coach in Ime Udoka, who got himself ran out of Boston, but I like what's going on down there in Houston. I'd bet Reed Shepherd, but I think it's going to be Edey. Give me Reed Shepherd for the value at 8-1.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick there with the value, but I really think Edey's a good one to throw on as well, just as a safer play. But kind of, I know we're talking awards here, but while you brought up his name, might as well mention it here. What about Sengun getting that bag the other day?
Dude, he's good. He's really good. He's actually worth that. Like, a lot of people don't really know. I feel like know who he is because, one, not a lot of people watch the Rockets because they're not very good, and two, not many people are familiar with all the European talent. Like, he didn't play in college. Mm-hmm. When I watch Rockets games, dude, he's actually very good. Yeah, and very underrated.
Yeah, I got to see more tape on him, but I mean, everything I've seen, highlights and whatnot, checks out.
Yeah. The next one's kind of crazy. Defensive Player of the Year, Wembanyama minus 155. Bam Adebayo plus 1,100. Evan Mobley plus 1,200. Chet Holmgren plus 1,200. Gobert, a multiple-time winner, plus 2,000.
Why? Because they're like, he can't win it again, right?
I don't know. I mean, he's up there in Minnesota by himself now. They got rid of Cat. Like, I feel like that there's a year he could do it. It's a year that he's going to get predominantly the main minutes at the big man spot.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm not going to throw on Gobert because I don't think he wins it again. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to go again. Wembanyama is probably going to win it, but my dart throw is going to be
This
Chet
is
Holmgren.
I was just gonna say this is Wembanyama will win this. I know I said take him for the MVP, but this, I mean, he's gonna win this, so it's gonna be hard for unless he has a crazy year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. But I think he's a lock for the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
not one you bet on. This isn't the award you bet on
this
this
I
year.
was just gonna say this next one, Sixth Man of the Year. I can't say I'd ever even think about betting this. It's just anyone that gets hot off the bench. Like here's the list of players. The favorite's Malik Monk. I think he's out in Sacramento with that new look Sacramento Kings team, if I'm correct. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that might be.
I think that's
I
where
like
he's
the
at.
Kings as well. I think.
Naz Reid, the defending Sixth Man of the Year up in
Mhm.
Minnesota. Jaime Jaquez in Miami. Benedict Mathurin, coming off an injury in Indiana.
This
Dante
is,
DiVincenzo in Minnesota.
I mean, that's a pretty good one.
So,
But
like, how can you have
this is a
Naz
tough
Reid
award.
and
This is a tough award to pick though because anybody could
it's the
really
be-
step onto the scene. You don't know the minute share, and it's really just injury prone too. Because then guys slot into the lineup and they're higher
all
than
these
their rank.
odds? All these odds, the lowest odds should be like plus 1,000.
What is the lowest odd for him?
Plus 550 Malik Monk.
Hmm.
Like I just
I
I
wouldn't
feel
bet
like
that.
I feel like there's games he starts. So it's like, how do you make him? I want to know what you have to do to qualify as Sixth Man of the Year. I bet you can't start. It's like
X
if
amount of
you
games.
if you start 47 games or 48 games, what's 82 divided by to 41? I bet if you start 41 or more games, like you don't qualify for it, or you know what I mean. Something. There's no way it's half. I bet it's even less than half. I bet you can't start like a quarter of the game.
All I know is nobody's betting on this award because it could be
No one.
literally anybody in the NBA.
Like Russell Westbrook, 18-1 in Denver.
That's not a bad pick either.
That's not a bad pick.
No.
But literally, you could say you could convince me on any of those being a good pick. Miles McBride, 14-1. Like
Yeah, he was playing big minutes last night.
he played good last night. He was like one of the few Knicks that actually played very good. Most improved player. This is another one. I don't really have an opinion on this one, so we'll just skip that. But yeah, NBA. I've been excited for the NBA to come back. This is kind of what happens with me with the NBA. It comes back. I hone in on the NBA for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I notice how little the players care about the games this early on in the year, and then I check out till Christmas. Like I never.
That's what it must be like not having a home team up there in Pittsburgh.
Yes, that's exactly what it feels like not having a team because I just watch right now. Like my players, I like LeBron, Anthony Edwards, Wemby,
And you're
What's
watching
up?
the primetime games, really.
and right now I have Sixers, Milwaukee ready on come on ESPN. Like I just watch the big games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's honestly why
hey,
I like the
shout
NBA
out,
so
shout
much
out
is
to this
because
YouTube TV though, because I'm watching so many more games than I recently did.
Is that what you just switched to? Is YouTube TV?
Yeah, I got a few different logins for all different stuff you got to nowadays. Everything's
Yeah.
all over everywhere, but
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to watch those weird games. West Coast games are pretty nice to watch. But let's talk about those real quick. Those games last night. I know we touched on the Celtics and Knicks. I know we carded the Timberwolves. I was weary of that one with the Lakers being underdogs at home playing in LA. Anthony Davis looked insane per usual. I know we got the Bronny and LeBron moment, but that team is starting to come together a little bit. Rui Hachimura. I always thought that was a great ad by him.
That's a
By
good.
them.
That's a good Lakers team. A lot of people are overlooking them. D'Angelo Russell, Rui. Obviously, you got Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Austin Reeves to
It's
finish
nice
up
to
that
get
starting
next
four.
too.
I think if Gabe, like they brought in guys like Gabe Vincent, like he was pretty good on the Heat. He has done nothing for the Lakers. I'd like to see him, take a step.
Think about that though. Since LeBron's been in LA, how much depth scoring have they had consistently? Not much. I mean, KCP was probably the best one a few years ago, but now they have behind Russell. I'm talking about they always had like a third guy that was kind of a superstar for them. They have Rui Hachimura. They have AR-15. He's gonna be a good player in this league. He's getting better every year. And then Dalton Neck drafting another good young guy. They've drafted well around LeBron, which is something that they've needed to do.
Yeah. One thing I was surprised out of the Timberwolves last night, Rob Dillingham didn't play. Luka Garza both had really good preseasons, but that's a deep team in Minnesota. Obviously, their bench, like I like DiVincenzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker coming off the bench. They have some nice pieces up there. I think that team will get back to where they were last year. I don't think they lost much in losing Cat. Randall came in, had 16 points. I didn't watch much of this game. I was more tuning in.
You think they're going as far as they did last year? I think they're definitely making the playoffs, but I don't know how many rounds they win.
I think they'll definitely win their first round matchup. Like they'll be a top 3 or 4 seed in the West. Them, Minnesota, Minnesota, Denver, OKC. You could say them in any order that you want. I think those are the top 3 teams in the West, and then they'll get.
I think Sacramento's good.
Yeah, I just don't think they're top 3. Like they're like the perfect 4 or 5 team.
Dallas.
Dallas will be 4. I don't know. I'm not big on that Dallas team. I love Luka, but their depth just like all their problems show.
Honestly, from what you're saying, it seems like we could be getting a rematch of these 2 teams on opening night, the Timberwolves and Lakers in round 1, in which case I would lean the old guy.
Yeah, I definitely think you could get that matchup.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I'm excited. There's
Obviously,
a lot more competition around this year.
And in the NBA, it comes down in the playoffs to just who's the healthiest team. The Timberwolves obviously got very lucky last year, didn't have to deal with too many injuries. They were playing most of their whole team down the stretch in the playoffs. I know, obviously, like wear and tear and fatigue sets in from, playing those long playoff series, but it usually comes down to who's the healthiest team. Celtics were another one that didn't have to deal with.
It's probably not the last time we see Tatum versus Luka in the finals either. They're both MVP frontrunners and so young.
I think that Mavericks team needs to do a little more. I don't think they're going to get back.
But I think they can just go on the back of Luka. They're going to get there again at some point in his career.
I think they got to do it. If they want to do that, they'd have to do it this year again because I think you get another year. If the Spurs are bad this year and they get Cooper Flagg or one of those legit players to come in and play with Wemby, another year with Wemby, Stephon Castle, they'll probably re-sign Chris Paul for a year just to lead all those young players. And sooner or later, one of these big stars is going to say, I want to go play with him. Like if Wemby goes out and wins an MVP by himself this year with no help.
You'll get a Durant out it's like a Durant out to Phoenix.
Someone's going to go down there to play with him in San Antonio because Wemby's never going to leave them.
Notice when we were talking about the Mavericks, you didn't bring up Klay Thompson at all.
I don't think he's going to do that much for them personally.
No, nobody does. But I feel like he'll be better than everybody thinks. I've never seen anybody getting written off this hard. But it's deservedly so after the injury returns.
It's just the injury, and like I said,
here's something for you. You want to hear a funny conversation I was having the other day. Usually people talk about how great the West is, right? And everybody's saying the East is so great this year. The West sucks. It feels like there's a lot of teams that have a lot of hype coming into the season in the East. I know the Knicks are one that we talked about. Always the Sixers and the Bucks behind the Celtics.
I think the hype fell off the Sixers with what Embiid said the other day.
Exactly. I mean, and then after that, you still have the Heat, who if they get to the playoffs, they can beat anybody. But I think teams like they're expecting the Hornets to maybe make a little bit of a jump. The Pacers are a team that I'm very excited to see this season. I think they might be able to do kind of what they did last year. Maybe not get to the conference championship, but I think they might be able to get to the playoffs and win a round or two. Your Magic are out there still pesky. We got them on the card tonight. And then the Cavaliers are another good team. There's a lot to watch in the East this year. I think it's a much more competitive East than it has been in years past.
Yeah.
But both are going to be fun to watch. I think it's the Celtics league to lose, which is crazy to say. Coming in back-to-back, usually it seems a lot harder, but they look like they've gotten better and primed, ready to win. So we're going to have to see who else steps up to the table.
Absolutely. All right, we are back, and we have Mackie with us. I said he was going to be joining us in a little bit. We're going to dive right into the MLB. He does not want to talk about his Mets. Jump into the other side of town.
Talk about it if you want.
The New York Yankees will take on the LA Dodgers in the 2024 World Series. World Series gets underway Friday for Game 1 in LA. Let's take a look at some of these series prices. I don't have them pulled up here yet. Mackie, what are you thinking? If you want to give your take about what happened with your Mets.
Let's hear the sob story.
It's definitely a good run.
No sob story.
You gotta send them off.
You just gonna say OMG, the Mets are out.
Listen, great run. Obviously, it's not really an accomplishment unless they win the World Series, but I couldn't have asked for much more after being 22-33 after May. So
I was gonna say, I remember back at the beginning of the MLB season when the Pirates and Red Sox both had better records than the Mets, and the Mets are in the NLCS.
And Mackie was afraid to take the $20 wager on who would win
the season. It was a rebuild year.
He was really afraid, shaking in his boots.
This guy's still talking. Yeah, Red Sox here. They're a little early, aren't they?
I won the bet. That's all I
know. But yeah, honestly, good season. Can't complain. Found a star in Mark Vientos. Hopefully, we can lock him up for a while as well. So, bright future ahead.
That might have been the most hyped team. Not like how the Dodgers are hyped to win the World Series because they're stacked. That was the most hyped team. They had the most air in the balloon out of anybody.
Anyone who did not have a horse in the race was rooting for the Mets. Everyone.
That's what I was
Except
saying.
For Ace, because he likes to suck the jab. But
Ace, I think I said it 2 weeks ago, or Mackie, I said it to you. It was so weird during that time to see New York sports be the team that everyone's I love this
Yeah.
team. I'm rooting for the Mets. Like, no one hops on New York. And, like,
No
we're
one.
now at the point with the World Series where it's the two big, bad, $500 million rosters where it's like one of these big markets is going to win a ring this year, and you just got to pick. Like, there's no Cinderella team left. Like, if Cleveland would have gone in over Yankees, I think you would have been seeing a lot of people rooting for Cleveland. But, like, the way that people gravitated toward that Mets team was so weird for them being a big market team.
It was just a story. It was everything that went around with it. It was like they had the fat payroll. 110 million of that went to Scherzer and Verlander, who obviously aren't on the roster. So it wasn't as big of a payroll as you would expect. But it was all the young guns that stepped up, like Iglesias, Tyrone Taylor, Vientos. We had five pitchers who we could trust to put out there every single game. None of them even really paid that much. Manaea got a good amount, but that was about it. It was just like an underdog team, even though it didn't.
But the two clutch guys were Pete Alonso sending you to the second round of the playoffs, and Francisco Lindor coming up time after time too.
Well, it was Lindor.
Delivering big hits.
The heart and soul of that team went right through Lindor. But obviously, yeah, you had
big Alonso hit.
You had Alonso with the 3-run shot at the top of the
best.
ninth.
I was just gonna say, still the best moment of these playoffs was the Alonso home run, and
Alonso, or it could have been Lindor, the 2-run shot against the
We were
Braves.
sitting at the bar though with the Alonso home run. He comes up to the plate, and I look at my boys. I'm like, "This is like the one guy you don't want to see up." We're like, the Mets are so dead. Like we were laughing, like, because like I know you understand. Everybody was on the Mets, but like you got to think here, everybody's a heartbroken Mookie Betts fan that's rooting for the Dodgers, or they hate the Yankees, so they want to see them lose, or they're a Yankees fan themselves. So there's like it's either Yankees or Dodgers because that's the best hope to beat the Yankees too. So everybody were watching that. We're like, what the fuck, the Mets? And then we're like, Pete Alonso, you can't pitch some bomb. We're like, all right, that's kind of sick. So they were kind of on a great run
and
to watch.
Everyone in New York hated Alonso before that hit too, because obviously he's probably out the door and
he just determined his payday. Like he's getting a blank check because of that hit.
Everyone forgot about the regular season.
I would take him in Boston any day of the week with the fucking Green Monster. Oh my god.
Yeah, but great run. Can't really complain much, I guess. You just run into a juggernaut. That Dodgers roster, top to bottom, has zero weaknesses. So, obviously, we'll get into that.
That's why I picked them before the year started to win the World Series. You don't go and get Shohei Ohtani, the best player in baseball. You can say Aaron Judge is, but he's the best player in baseball because I've never seen Aaron Judge on the mound. I know he wasn't this year, but Shohei Ohtani joining Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman with all of the stuff they have. What's crazy is the pitching staff, and they're lucky that they're so good at making deadline deals because their starter for Game 1 is Jack Flaherty, and they're right here. They're where they need to be. And it's like it's scripted. They got the New York Yankees coming up on the other side with their star-studded lineup as well.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, this is the World Series that, like, if you would go up to the average person before the MLB season, like, oh, who do you think's going to play in the World Series? Yankees, Dodgers. Like, who are the two best teams? Like, this, it usually doesn't happen in baseball. We're coming off a year where we just had Diamondbacks, Rangers, like two teams that haven't played in the World Series, and it was a first time for Texas to win one. And was it ever or how long? I don't even remember. But we'll get into this. We'll get into this World Series.
Couple crazy stats with this one though. Like, did you see this is the first time since 2013 that two number 1 seeds from each side have made the World Series, and it's the first year in 5 years that the state of Texas hasn't hosted the World Series either. I saw both those this week. I was like, those are both interesting stats.
Because the Astros and then it was the Rangers.
Like 5 years in a row though. It's crazy, huh?
Everyone complains about the salary cap, but baseball is the one sport where you do see it more often that the underdogs, because it's a game of runs. Whenever somebody's hot,
pitchers too.
Mets. These teams go on runs, and when you get them hot, they can beat anybody. It's baseball. So, with the salary cap, the salary floor, how there is none. Everyone complains about that. Just this year, because you're seeing Dodgers, Yankees. There hasn't been a repeat winner in the MLB since like 2000, I think. I think it was 99-2000, the last Yankees. So, I think it's not really a flawed system, but a lot of people are complaining about it because of Dodgers, Yankees this year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Series prices for this one: Dodgers are favored to win the World Series, -130 on MGM. Yankees +110. Ace, how many games do you think your Dodgers are going to take?
5.
5.
5.
Mackie, what do you think?
I kind of agree with it. I'm going to say Dodgers in 6.
You wanted to say 5 too, didn't you?
I think they'll come back home and win. I think the Yankees will put up a good fight. It's just
is it still 3 or 2-3-2?
2-3-2, yeah.
Even in the World Series, I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense because of baseball and you play more back-to-backs, but I just don't think the Yankees have the bullpen to get through. I mean, the Mets pitching did about as much as they could do, and they still really couldn't get through that lineup. The Yankees also don't have the support in their lineup like the Dodgers do. they're gonna steal a few wins. You're gonna see a game or two where Dodgers just don't have it all put together, or somebody gets shelled in that bullpen. But I mean, there's no way that in my opinion, I don't think the Yankees can put together 4 wins against this team.
I don't know.
They don't have that bullpen that can be a savior. I like that point you said. They contain the Indians bats, and some people might call it a Mickey Mouse run. I heard enough with the Celtics, so I'm going to. They had a Mickey Mouse run through the AL playoffs, and here they are. So you got to face the toughest lineup. I think. When's the last time we've seen a lineup this star-studded? I know I've seen some good pictures of that last Yankees World Series with their lineup with Cano batting 7th.
I would say this Dodgers lineup might be better. They're at least performing better.
3 MVPs right in a row. And think about the guys after them. You have guys like Kike Hernandez batting in the bottom of the order, who's a playoff hero. They have a bunch of other bats.
Hernandez hit 2 home runs against the Mets in 1 game. It's just like
that's the rookie. For those of us that don't know how to say it, Andy Pages.
Yeah, Pages, Pages. Yeah. I didn't know it was Pages until they started playing the Mets either, but it's Pages. Who else? Fucking
Teoscar Hernandez. What about Teoscar Hernandez? He won the home run derby.
Tommy Edman lit us up in that game 6 too.
Didn't start playing till the end of August, right?
These guys, man, Teoscar Hernandez, Kike Hernandez. It's just like they don't have a weak spot. Anybody who gets up to the lineup, you don't have a safe out.
Don't they have who's their defensive sub that they always bring in too? They have who is he? I think he played for the Blue Jays. Do they have KK on their team? Kiermaier?
Who? No.
Kevin Kiermaier.
No, who's the? They have some depth guy that comes in. Let me look at their full roster. But Huff, what were you saying about your take? Because I know you're on the Yankees.
Yeah, I can't switch sides now. I picked them to get here. I thought it was gonna be Yankees Phillies. I'm gonna go with the Yankees. I don't know how it's gonna get done. I haven't decided how many games. Maybe I think if the Yankees win it, I do think it's gonna be longer, 6 or 7. I don't have an exact pick. I do have the Yankees winning it. I will take that plus 110. I don't know who starts. Who's game 1 for Yankees?
Flaherty Cole. And Garrett Cole's going to do the same old Garrett Cole in the playoffs and get lit up.
No, I think he's fine. I think
he's going to get called. He always does.
I can see Yankees win game 1.
Yeah.
No way. It's Garrett Cole, and you know what's going to happen? I'm going to text the chat right when it happens. He's going to get pulled before the 4th inning, and I'll be like, Garrett Cole can't pitch in the big moment, especially when he's got pinstripes.
He's been pretty good this postseason.
He has.
Yeah, but he had that tough start. This is a different lineup, too. I mean, Mickey Mouse run, like I said. And it was Kiermaier, by the way. I was right. Kevin Kiermaier. They have that defensive stud. That's the thing they do. Chris Taylor, too. Will Smith, the catcher's back. Max Muncy, we didn't even mention his name. That team's stacked top to bottom, and they have depth pieces that are better than your starters. What's crazy is they have the ability to win with those bullpen games. They've clinched now 2 series doing that against really good teams, the Mets and the San Diego Padres. That just shows you how good their bullpen is, too.
Yeah, I said whoever wins that Mets-Dodgers series, or whoever comes out of the NL, I said it even before the NLCS. I think I said in the NLDS, whoever comes out of the NL is going to win the World Series, and I kind of still stick by that. But, I mean, this Yankees team is playing really well. Probably the best baseball they've played all season. They're just getting the job done. Big Judge hasn't even really done much, and they're still finding ways to win games. Soto's been out of control. But yeah, I think the Yankees will put up a good fight. I'm not going to say it's a lock for the Dodgers. I just think they get the job done.
Yeah, they haven't swept anything. They've gotten handed a couple losses in both rounds. I think we said it before the playoffs even started. Whoever matches up between the Dodgers and the Padres is going to win the World Series. We kind of said that early on because we thought there were 2 really good teams, strong teams, hot going into the playoffs, and now here we are.
Absolutely, yeah. We said a game 1 starting Friday. We'll keep that World Series talk going next week. We'll jump over into the NFL. Week 7 wrapping up. And the big news coming into today was Kansas City Chiefs have officially acquired wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins from the Tennessee Titans. Is this what the Chiefs needed to go on their 3-peat run? I feel like we've seen this coming.
Years too late.
I saw someone say, I think it was actually FanDuel's official Instagram, posted the Chiefs starting lineup, and it said, damn, the Chiefs are going to be so good in 2018.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, though? Do you remember how many times DeAndre Hopkins was linked to the Chiefs back in the day?
Yeah, they tried to go get him 2 years ago in free agency, but he didn't want to go there.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they brought in Marquise Brown. They had Rashee Rice. They had Isaiah Pacheco. Just kidding. We have Kareem Hunt, Juju Smith-Schuster, and DeAndre Hopkins. Those are good weapons for Patrick Mahomes.
That was the lineup. It was D-Hop, Juju, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes. It was like, damn, this is a 2018 Pro Bowl team.
It is, and it's a great mix. I like what they've done. Look at how Kareem Hunt's fit into the system. Look how Schuster did when he was healthy. I think Hopkins is going to be good, but I don't think this is the best receiver move that we saw of late.
I think They were looking at Cooper Kupp. Obviously, it didn't
They couldn't afford
happen.
him. They didn't want to give it up.
I don't think
for
the
him.
Rams wanted to give him to the Chiefs anyway. But
The Rams won a second, I think.
Yeah, they said they want a second, and then you got to take on most of his salary. The Chiefs were trying to find a third team to come in and Chiefs feed off a second pick to somebody, and they take half his salary, but they said they couldn't find someone to do it. They immediately found out D-Hop was just a 5th-round pick. But
How high is the D-Hop stock now, you think?
I don't know.
He's
been good. He's been good in
be
Tennessee. He's been decent in Tennessee for what they have throwing the ball. Mason Rudolph started last week. I mean, they didn't look bad against the Bills in the first half. They had a lead, and obviously they didn't score in the second half. But I think he'll be decent. I don't think he's going to be the D-Hop that everyone's expecting going to Kansas City, but Mahomes will, get him his targets. But we'll see what comes of that. I mean, the Chiefs are 6-0, and they had DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think it's a bad.
No, you knew they were getting somebody.
Yeah,
it's kind of great to see him go there because I would like to see DeAndre if they do end up going back to back, which they very well could. I like DeAndre Hopkins going
and
there.
for the asking price of a 5th-round pick, if DeAndre Hopkins plays one snap in the Super Bowl this year, it's a 4th-round pick.
Okay, I'm still fine with that.
Yeah. So we'll get into our power rankings going into Week 8, and then we'll get into our Week 8 slate. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Number 4, Minnesota Vikings. Number 3, Detroit Lions. NFC North representing 3 of these top 5 teams. Then the Baltimore Ravens at 2, and the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1, who we just talked about getting D-Hop. Ravens with a dominating win on Monday Night Football. Lions with a huge win in Minnesota. That's why Minnesota slides back. Green Bay defeated our former number 5 in Houston. That's why they slide in there. I think this is a solid top 5 list. NFC North is legit this year.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we saw that with the Packers' home win over the Texans. And CJ Stroud's road record, I don't know if you guys have caught on to that. Not too good. I know that
they've been a little shaky this year, too. They've gotten their wins, but they've all been pretty tight.
Yeah, and they were right there. They should have won this one, honestly. There was that last-second backdoor deep field goal from the rookie kicker up in Green Bay. But I think this is a good list. Right outside of that top 5, I think we've got, the Bills. I'm not putting the Commanders there with Jaden Daniels on the mend. I'll say...
These are Russell Wilson-led Steelers.
Oh, okay.
They're coming.
I don't know what they're coming for. First-round loss?
We'll see, I guess. We'll see.
No, but who
we'll get into that. You can't even say he didn't look good. No, you guys are calling. I said, give him a half. Give him a half.
I think I could have
7 unanswered points.
Yeah, everything is scored off a turnover, though. Garrett Wilson handing you the game.
Dude, what are you talking about? He had a 40-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, I could have thrown that.
Who?
Russ.
No, he didn't.
To George Pickens?
He didn't have.
He went out at the 4. Went out the 4. That's when Najee ran it in.
3 touchdowns for a combined 14 yards. But he played well. You're right.
I'll take the slander. We'll move on.
No, not even giving you a slander.
All right, so who else is outside the top 5 though? I say the Buffalo Bills. You guys got Texans, I guess. Bills, Texans. Anybody else?
Texans, Commanders.
I think Texans slid. Commanders slid. Jaden Daniels is out. Bucks are out of that picture.
Think?
Yeah.
They're also a good team. They're also a good team.
Mike Evans and Godwin.
Yeah, you're right.
Godwin and Evans.
Let's think of Bears too, Mackie. You know who everybody else would say that none of us is going to say is the Seahawks.
If the playoffs started tomorrow, all 4 NFC North teams are in the playoffs.
That's fire. Oh, you know who's actually right outside the top 5 for me? And you can't put them there yet, but I think they are because they're healthy now. I think, regardless of what you think of Sirianni, I think the Eagles are a really good football team.
They're playing so bad right now, I couldn't put them there.
Yeah, they just won. What did they win? 28-3, something like that. They played really well against the Giants, but it's the Giants. So, I'm gonna need a week or 2 on them.
Yeah, me too. But I think they have the potential to be one of the great teams in the NFL.
We'll get into our Week 8 slate starting Thursday Night Football. Minnesota at LA Rams. Rams 3.5-point underdog. Or no, 3-point underdog over under 48. Rams plus 135. Vikings minus 160. Ace, go ahead.
Bounce back game for Sam Darnold here. Kevin O'Connell gets his revenge against the team that he brought to the Super Bowl, I believe. Won the Super Bowl with those LA Rams. Brian Flores is going to have his day. I don't know if Kupp and Nakua are back. Kyron Williams will probably get in the end zone because he scores every week. He's the new David Montgomery and Derrick Henry. But I do think that Justin Jefferson and co. continue their strong season. I think that defense has been good for the Vikings. Coming off their first loss of the season that they slipped away with late, I think they're going to be hungry and come out for a win this week. I like all the pieces they have. Addison looks good. I think Hawkinson's probably going to be a go this week. They brought in Cam Akers to back up Aaron Jones. And that defense, like I said, has been strong. Andrew Van Ginkel getting the Max Crosby sack pass rusher of the week. I don't know if you guys follow the Rush Pod with Max Crosby, but he rated Van Ginkel at the 1 spot because of his performance. So I got the Vikings here. I'm going to buy that half point for 3. And I think Genesis hits the gritty on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. But, Mackie, let me know what you think about this one.
Yeah, sketchy line. I don't know why it's sitting at 3 right now. Rams haven't looked very good. Obviously, the Vikings are doing their thing even after a tough loss. But I'm going to go with the over 48.5. I think both teams score enough points here to go over. I like a prop game. I do like Jettis to get in the end zone. I obviously like Kyron Williams. He's automatic. It's ridiculous. I think if you take him 2+ every game, you're going to profit heavy. But yeah, it's more of a prop game for me. I like the over. Off, you're muted.
I'm with Ace. I think it's a bounce back game. I like the Vikings minus the 3 points. I think it's a weird line. But I've been bad in the NFL trying to outsmart these lines at this point. I'm not overthinking this game. I'll take the Vikings minus 3.
Yeah, I just think there's too many weapons for that Rams defense. I think the Rams potentially have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Next to my page.
Ben Fox, Huff. He let me know a lot of money on the Vikings. So, and
I believe, dude,
for a good reason, but
I know I've been trying to outsmart all these all year, and
you're
I'm
almost
down
better
like
off just fucking riding the public.
That's what I mean.
Lost some Celtics last night. I told you, don't worry about those numbers, Huff.
These past 2 weeks or these past 2 years in the NFL, it's been like stop trying to outthink it. Just go with what you think. And if I just went with my heart, I'd be fine. I just look at the numbers and I overthink myself. But give me the Vikings minus 3. I'm not going to overthink this one. We'll get into our. Is there a London game? No London game. 1 o'clock, first 1 o'clock game. The Baltimore Ravens heading to Cleveland, divisional matchup here. And Jameis Winston under center for the Browns. Browns a 9-point home underdog. Over under at 44.5. Ravens money line minus 450. Browns plus 350. I'll start us out here. I think the Ravens are kind of catching their stride, and I don't like the Browns. I think Jameis Winston will come in and put up some points and put up a fight. I think Ravens cover this one late. They win this game by 10 points.
Wait, what are you we talking about? Ravens Browns here?
Yeah.
You think the Ravens cover it late?
Oh, let's hear the glazing. Let's hear the Ravens are going to win by 45.
Mackie, I
Browns are the
Mackie, I can't even say they cover without hearing his mouth.
The Ravens are going to win by 45. Alternate minus 24.5.
Do you know
Henry touchdowns? Say it, Ace. Say it.
Derrick Henry's getting in the end zone.
Hey, if they win by, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. If they win by 10 or they win by 40, and they score a touchdown with 5 seconds left to win by 10, do they still cover the spread? Yeah.
All I know is
the way he just said that.
How many points do you think that the Cleveland Browns can get? 3?
They know these. It's Jameis Winston, dude. They're gonna. He's going.
That's supposed to be a good thing.
They have nothing to lose.
It is better than Deshaun Watson.
Is it though? There's a reason he's been backing him up so long and took an injury to get him on the field.
I don't know. They have nothing to lose. They're going to throw the ball downfield.
They also have nothing to get in the end zone.
Nick Chubb, if they get there. Notice I said that.
He's not himself yet.
If you're on the 5-yard line, he's getting you in. Like I still trust him.
Yeah, but do they have to get to the 5? They have Jerry Jeudy, the only pass catcher.
Believe me, I understand. I think the Ravens are covering 9 here. I don't know why we're arguing the same thing.
Once they get crushed this week, Myles Garrett's out the door. He's getting shipped. Maybe to Detroit.
Tough, you didn't glaze enough, so it's an argument. So
Jesus Christ, they're going to be up 28-3 at halftime.
Mackey's on the Browns on the money line.
No, absolutely not. The Ravens should win this one by 30 points, but divisional game in Cleveland. I'm assuming there's going to be a shit.
I also like the under. That's why I don't think they murder them. I think the Ravens are going to get up and then kind of not have to do anything.
You know what's been weird though hasn't the Browns defense been awful too?
Hasn't been
on the field so much.
Hasn't been good.
They're just kind of overrated. It's really just Myles Garrett.
Because they were nasty.
They should trade what's his name? I always forget how to say his last name. Jeremiah Owusu.
Owusu-Kamara.
They could get a first-round pick for him, I think.
They just if they're long-term. I think that's the guy they're keeping.
I was gonna say if they're set on keeping Myles Garrett, I'd trade.
I don't think I've heard the Garrett. I've heard the Garrett rumors around. I don't know if that's more other teams wanting him or them wanting him.
He's a little older. I feel like they'd rather move on from him, I think.
You get a pretty penny for him, too. You know what's nice to see is Mark Andrews come back to life. I mean, that guy was gone for a while.
3 straight weeks. He's playing really good football. I think the Ravens win by 20 points. I'm probably not.
Did Lamar get a 3rd MVP this year?
He's favorited.
I thought Mahomes was still favored with all the
after last
interceptions.
game, Lamar's like plus 220.
Really?
Yeah. But
Yeah, crazy one.
I mean, he's playing absolutely unbelievable. There's no stopping that Ravens offense right now.
It's nice with Derrick Henry as your backfield mate.
He didn't even. I mean, he had those 2 massive runs.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
But later in the game,
about
first half of the game, he didn't really do. He didn't do that much. But what's up, Puff?
How'd you feel about what Jerry Jones said about Derrick Henry? He wouldn't be having a career year in Dallas.
He's
right
not
now.
wrong.
How degrading is that to your offensive line though?
That's what I mean. That's exactly how I took it. I was like, he just knows.
It's because of the scheme, though.
Yeah, but I mean, the Ravens didn't have a run-heavy scheme either. They had a quarterback.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And they adjusted. And when you have a running back like Derrick Henry, you adjust around him.
I was one of the people that didn't think Derrick Henry would be a good fit there personally.
It's just like, look at the Eagles. They went the past couple years. They went to a Super Bowl with Miles Sanders at running back. As soon as you get Saquon Barkley, yeah, you're gonna run the ball a lot more.
Mackie, would you be hyped if you guys brought in Miles Sanders to Dallas right now?
Well, yeah, our starting running back's Rico Dowdle, so I'm pretty sure
that would be like a good piece for the Cowboys to trade.
I'm hyped. I think Hubbard. I thought they should move Hubbard and Sanders, but I think they want to go Hubbard Brooks, like the Falcons have LJR and Bijan, and then they want to move on from Miles. So
they said Brooks practiced today.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to watch.
All right, so we're all on Ravens.
Yeah, but we talked about this game for way too long. Tennessee Titans at Detroit. This is going to be a snooze fest. I saw this is the first time Detroit in their history has been favored by 11.5 points or more. So Detroit 11.5 point favorite. Over under 45. Titans money line plus 475. Lions minus 650. I again will take the Lions. I don't normally like a lot of these big spreads. They're home. I like this one probably a little more than that Ravens one, just because Ravens are on the road, but I think the Browns are so bad. Not going to say anything else about that game. I like the Lions minus 11.5. I think the Titans, Mason Rudolph shows a little bit of signs there. No DeAndre Hopkins. This team's kind of just trying to get through the season. 1-5. They're going to be 1-6. Give me the Lions to cover this game.
Why have the Titans kept games close? Like, I think they're awful.
It's lost 34-10.
No, but earlier in the year, weren't they keeping games close?
Yeah, the Jets. And the first 2 weeks, they lost to the Jets. And
the Dolphins.
With Tua.
Didn't they play someone else tight?
They beat the Dolphins without Tua.
Yeah, they beat the Dolphins with Tyler Huntley's first game.
I thought there were some other tight games because Will Levis has all the memes that he was like 3 or 4.
They lost to the Bears 24-17. Should have won that one week 1. They lost to the Jets 24-17. Should have won that one week 2. Got blown out by the Packers. Beat the Dolphins. Colts, they lost 2017, and they lost to the Bills 34-10. So not really.
I saw something on Twitter today. It was like, I don't know what the caption was, but it was like, do you remember the random 2-year rivalry during COVID of the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens? And it was all the videos
I saw that.
where no one's in the stands and they're all stepping on each other's logos and stuff. It's just so weird, but no one was in the stands. But
that was the Mike Vrabel Titans. RIP to Mike Vrabel. I don't know how the hell he fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Did you see the Titans?
You guys get a pick on this game?
Yeah, I got the Lions here. Probably just throw them in a long shot money line lay. Not going to take that 11.5. That's a lot of points in the NFL, like you said.
You could honestly tease that down. If you tease that, what's that?
You take them first half spread because second half, like late garbage time, is the only place I see that 11.5 losing. I feel like Titans aren't. I feel like they're more going to do what they did against the Bills last week, score 10 points in the first half and then fall apart in the second half. So I feel like the 11.5
the Lions defense kind of gets chilled. I'm going to go over 44.5, but I do like the Lions as well.
You know what's nice, though? A good thing to note here is the Lions have the 2 leading interception getters. Or no, behind Xavier McKinney. They have 2 and 3 interception leaders in the league. So I think they get more this week. You could definitely lock in a Rudolph Levis, whoever the hell is starting, to throw an interception. I think that's a good leg for a parlay. Maybe I throw that in our parlay of the week. That'd be a fun one to ride. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the Titans made a couple moves on defense today. They sent someone out, brought someone in. I think they brought in Jerome Baker. Can't remember who they sent out. Maybe Ernest Jones.
So they let Jamal Adams permission to
seek a trade.
Permission to seek a trade. That's such as like they're like, you're not worth us our time trying to find a trade. So if you want to find one yourself, be our guest.
Huff, I don't know if you said this in the live stream the other day, but Tony Pollard has been shady good too.
Yeah. All right, this next game might be the most random game I've ever seen on the NFL slate. The Arizona Cardinals at the Miami Dolphins. Cardinals, a 3.5-point road favorite. Tua is back under center for the Dolphins. Over under 45.5. Dolphins money line minus 185. Cardinals plus 150.
I'm telling you that over is a great pick this week. You're going to see that on my card, I think.
You think he just comes back and slings it?
I think he gets hit one more time and just brain turns to jello.
Yeah, but that's
You
we're
see the
just
thing
gonna-
about it?
Yeah, but
About
you
the,
know who's not gonna hit him though? You know who's not gonna
Yeah.
hit him is the Cardinals
Yeah.
defense. They're
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, but he'll find a way. He'll go head first into anybody.
Cardinals
that-
defense coming off of Monday Night Football.
What's that shit called? The
Guardian.
Guardian cap. Do you see what he said about the Guardian cap? He was
Yeah,
like,
he's a
"First
dog.
of-
He's a
first of all,
dog.
of course, I don't want to wear one. All right, buddy. You're maybe because you already have CTE.
Yeah,
How
your
funny
brain's
is that,
telling
though?
you.
I would never rock a Guardian cap. No sty, zero
I'm not
sty
gonna-
points.
They look worse on some teams. Like, did you see the guy on the Bucks wearing it?
Yeah, some of them look like they're different brands, or they just don't match the helmet well.
Some of them, like when the Steelers wear it, it looks fine because it's a black helmet with a yellow stripe and it's hard to fuck up. But like the Bucks have that weird like copper color, and the guy's Guardian cap, if it was like the best way to describe it's like skin color, and it's like flat because they can't make that material shiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it looks the most normal. I saw Jonathan Taylor wearing it for the Colts. Colts have white helmets.
Yeah,
Like
Patriots don't look bad. Jabril Peppers
Yeah.
wears it. But still,
Yeah.
I'd never rep that. I would never rep a Guardian cap.
in 2 years, it's going to be so common that we're not
Yeah.
even going to think
Unless I was
about
on
it.
the O-line or D-line, because I feel like that's an advantage. I'd have all my
If
D-linemen wear it.
I was going to say, if I played D-line right now, I'd definitely wear one in the NFL.
Because it's just an advantage. Think about things that barely graze the helmet.
Yeah.
You get like that's important.
Yeah. Game
Like-
of inches. They call it a game of inches.
If Bill Belichick was coaching, his whole team would have a Guardian cap on.
But next game, Ace, your Patriots divisional matchup. The Jets heading to Foxborough. Patriots 7-point underdog. Over under 41. Patriots money line plus 275. Jets minus 350. Will you be hopping on these Patriots again for Drake
No,
May to
I
get his
won't.
first win?
You gotta stop betting on them.
The only reason I did was I took. I think that's the first time, maybe second time all year. I took them in week 2 and now last week. I thought the Jaguars were terrible. Should have just taken the Patriots in the first half because that's when they look good. If there was ever a time for something funny to happen, it would be this week against the Jets. But I think the Patriots are just kind of packing it in. They just have a terrible team on defense. Like the roster is brutal without Jawan Bentley, Christian Barmore, and Jabril Peppers. There's nobody that can stop the run. You could run with your third string running back, Rico Dowdle, 100+ against them. Mayo called them soft on defense because they are. The one bright spot is Drake May. He looks like the real deal. He has all the tools like Josh Allen type quarterback, the way he runs, extends the play, and has that strong arm. He's putting up 5 touchdowns already in 2 weeks. It's just great to see with terrible pieces around them, and I think he's going to help us bring pieces to New England too. But this week against the Jets, I can't bet on the Jets personally. I said this last week, and they went and blew the game against Huff's team last week, so good thing I didn't take them. This New York Jets team, I don't know how you can bet on. They got on my no bet list against the Broncos, and this is a weird team. You know what I tell you always hits those? That Garrett Wilson reception prop. I told you it still would with Devontae Adams. I had that on my card, so that'll probably be my only play if I take anything, or Drake May to throw 2 touchdowns. But the Jets should win and cover this game, right?
I like the over 41. I think Drake May has shown enough that he can at least put up some points. I mean, give me the 16 points you got last week, and I think the Jets will do theirs, get in the 20s, and I think you could find this game 24-20, somewhere around there.
They
Jets,
get a
I
new
mean,
kicker yet,
Patriots
the
could
Jets?
cover
I
this
think
game.
that's what's costing them is their kicker keeps missing field goals.
Yeah. Oh, so last week we were just blocking the shit out of him. He didn't miss
Yeah,
any. We
yeah.
just blocked them.
No, but the week before, I think he missed 2 against the Bills.
Yeah, he
missed the
did.
game
And
winner
Rogers
against the
called him out. He
Broncos.
was like, "It's hard to win games when we're missing 20-yard kicks."
Yeah, how do you not get a new one? I know Greg Zoerl, Greg the Leg is a well-renowned kicker, but you wouldn't got
wants him to
Devontae
get-
Adams. But
Rogers wants him to go get Mason Crosby, who's probably 55 years old now.
Mason Crosby and Greg Jennings for me.
All right,
Devontae
we'll get
Adams,
into
loser.
next game. NFC South matchup: Falcons at Bucks. Falcons 2.5-point favorite. Over under 46. Bucks plus 120 at home. Falcons minus 145. Mac, you want to start us out here?
Yeah, no Godwin, no Evans. All the
Oh, yeah.
weapons for Baker is kind of out the window. Obviously, he still has Bucky Irving, who had a great game, and Rashad White in that backfield. So they'll get the run game going a lot in this game. I think it'll be a slower game, divisional matchup. In Tampa Bay, like I said earlier, a lot of the NFC South teams, they're going to win their home games. This is a different situation, though. Bucks look a lot different. I'm going to go with the Falcons again. I know they killed me last week, but this banged-up roster is not going to be able to hold along with that Falcons team. I think the Falcons get it done and cover.
I'm with you. I'll keep it quick. I like the Falcons because of the injuries. I'm not big on this Bucks team as much as you guys. I think Falcons need this one if they want to go on a race for that division title. Saints don't look good. Bucks look injured, and obviously we know what the Panthers look like. This is one the Falcons need to get.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough one. I was much more excited thinking about it without the injuries. Now that I thought about it, I'm like, oh, great, this is going to be terrible. Cade Otton looked good in his absence. Jalen McMillan did too, the rookie. Maybe we see a lot of big game from Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and Bucky Irving. So I think it's going to be lower scoring without Evans and Godwin, and we know that the Falcons love that ground and pound, low scoring football too. Maybe find Drake London to get the end zone again, Huff. We had that a couple weeks ago. I think it's going to be a great matchup, though. We saw a crazy one last time when they were on Thursday Night Football, so hopefully it can be a good one again. I'm not picking a side in this one. I'll just take the under in the divisional matchup.
Drake London's been great for me on the anytime touchdowns. I'll probably go with him again in this one.
Good value, too.
Yeah. We'll get to this next one. Packers at Jags. Packers 4-point favorite. Over under 49.5. Packers minus 210. Jags plus 170. Mackie, you want to get us going again?
Yeah, I hate the Jags. I think they're terrible. I think they beat a shit team in the Patriots last week in London. They're obviously back over in the States after 2 games in London. I'm going to go with the Packers here. I think they're rolling. Huge win over the Texans last week. That was a big statement win. Jordan Love looked good. The whole offense looked good. I'm going to go with the Packers here. I think Josh Jacobs finds the end zone. Yeah, simple as that.
I agree. The only upside for me on this Jaguars team is I like Brian Thomas, the rookie receiver.
What about Tank Bigsby?
He's been very good as well. I'm just saying the piece that I kind of like personally. I obviously LSU guy like Brian Thomas.
Leads all the rookies and stats.
Him, Neighbors, Jaden Daniels. That was a fun LSU team last year, and Brian Thomas. They're all bringing it in the NFL this year. So he's just on a bad team. Trevor Lawrence hasn't looked good, but obviously last week they put up 32. Big game from Tank Bigsby, like you said. A hell of awesome name. A plus name for the NFL. I think that's a sweet name, but
it's a nickname.
All name.
Yeah, I know it's a nickname, but yeah, it's still pretty cool. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I gotta ride the Packers -4 heavily here. Maybe I take them on the money line though, and I'm gonna put them in a 2-teamer of some sorts because -4 is a weird number. Especially the Jaguars. I think before they had that win, weren't they in some close games the past couple weeks? I know I was wrong with my Titans assessment, but I think they were in some tight ones that they ended up losing.
They lost to the Bears 35-16 the week before, but they beat the Colts 37-34. Lost to the Texans 24-20. I guess so.
Yeah, and also they're coming back home from overseas. They were just in London for 2 straight weeks, so that's something interesting too. Josh Jacobs should continue to eat against that weak defense. Brian Thomas Jr., yeah, like you said, he's going to keep going. I don't know if you guys saw this today. Did you see Robert Saleh on the sidelines of Green Bay Packers practice? I didn't know Matt LaFleur was his best man at his wedding, so he's probably going to be joining that staff.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's a good D coordinator there. But yeah, my pick there will be the Packers and Jacobs to get in. But Jordan Love looks fucking great. I think him and Stroud are the next up.
Another divisional matchup, AFC South. And speaking of CJ Stroud, Texans at home against the Colts. Texans are a 5-point favorite, over under 46. Texans money line -250, Colts +200. I like the over in this game. I'll start us out here. I like over 46. Texans at home, they've done generally well. The first time these two teams played week 1, it was 29-27, very close game. I think we'll see a similar matchup to that. I'm not saying Colts cover here, but I do like the over 46. Mackie, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say not the first time these two teams are seeing each other this year. I think that's huge. I'm gonna go with the Colts on the spread. I think they keep it close. Divisional game. Obviously, these teams have already seen each other. And the Colts have been playing in a lot of tight games this year. Whether they're getting the job done or not, they're covering spreads. And what is it? A 5-point spread here?
5 even.
Yeah, I think it definitely lands inside 5. We'll see a shootout to the end. And like I said, Texans haven't really been covering spreads either. No Nico Collins. It's kind of looked like it's taking a bit of a toll on this Texans, but obviously they still have all the weapons and Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, and Tank Dell. But I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Texans here, but it should be close. This Colts team, they're getting pesky. I said they could push for the division maybe, which they kind of are at 4-3. If they win this game, maybe there's a chance. But Texas being at home in this matchup, I know week 1 was a great game. Anthony Richardson had his best game of the season against this Colts team. I don't think he's able to do it here again. I've got the Texans here, and I'm going to take them on the money line. Maybe I parlay that Packers with the Texans on the money line, get those 2 home teams to win in the 1 o'clock slate.
Colts are 6-1.
Packers aren't on the road though.
Colts are 6-1 against the spread this year. Also,
yeah, Colts are the best ATS team. I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so you take the Texans on the money line then.
Yeah, not spread.
Yeah, throw him in a two-teamer. I like that two-teamer. Texans-Packers, I'm telling you, that might be a good play to look at.
This next game is a pretty good one. Eagles heading to Cincinnati. Bengals are a 2-point home favorite, over under 48. Bengals moneyline -130. Eagles +130. I will start us out here again. I like the Eagles in this matchup. I think they're going to run all over this Bengals defense. I know the Bengals obviously pick up a win. They're now sitting at 3-4. It'd be huge for them to get back to 4-4. I think they get another setback. Eagles go to 5-2. Bengals to 3-4. I like the Eagles to win this one.
We know when the leaves start falling, or Joe Burrow starts to play a little better. These Bengals every single year start off the season a little slow. They're finding their stride now. They started off where they won 0-3, 1-4. They're 3-4 now, 2 big wins under the belt. They're at home for this game. It's going to be a tight one. I really think the Bengals figure this one out. Jamar Chase finds the end zone. He's been finding the end zone left and right. Obviously, T. Higgins is back, so you get even more weapons. I could see a big game out of Chase Brown on the ground, too. On the other side, I think Saquon also eats against this defense. A.J. Brown has been really big since he's been back as well, so I'm not going to count out this defense or this offense as well, but I'm going to go with the over, and I really think the Bengals find a way to get this done. Ace, why are you on the Eagles?
I'm on the Eagles because they're a much better team than the Cincinnati Bengals, who are not a good team. Joe Burrow playing good football. Jamar Chase playing good football. T. Higgins playing good football. Trey Hendrickson playing good football. 4 good players on that team. Chase Brown's playing okay. Everybody else is brutal. I think that Eagles team is too stacked, too many options, too many weapons. They can control the line of scrimmage. They're going to be able to get the tush-push anytime they want. They're going to be able to run all over them with Saquon Barkley. And oh, wait, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are healthy. I think both of them find the end zone. My favorite play here is probably the over, but the fact that we have the Eagles sitting at +115, I really like that. The young defense for the Eagles starting to jump onto the scene. We saw Jalen Carter last week with 2 sacks as well. Cooper DeJean coming into his own as well. I think this Eagles team is going to start pushing for the NFC East. It starts now with a road win in Cincinnati. Love the value, like the over more. Give me the Eagles in the over.
The Eagles have yet to score a point in the first quarter. You think that changes this week?
I think it does change this week. I think that's a great note for you to let me know, and I think they're. So does that mean we take them live?
Thanks, dude. Take the first quarter spread.
Yeah. Do we take them live? So that means you wait for them to get scored on and then take them live?
Could be a value play. They get off the slow start, still sitting at 4-2.
If Bengals go up 7-0, you're automatically going to get 8.5 points.
Does Saquon Barkley stay hot? Remember week 1 we were saying he had MVP potential, then he went really cold when everybody else got hurt, and then last week in his revenge game he snapped off. Does he stay hot this week? Does he go over 100? Does he get multiple touchdowns?
I think he gets 1 for sure.
I think he gets 1. You could see close to 100 yards, if not over. He's on a lot better team than he's been.
This will be a big game for A.J. Brown, in my opinion.
Is Kim Taylor-Britt going to be able to cover A.J. Brown? I really don't think so.
Why not?
He is terrible. He comes up with big plays, but he can't cover anybody. You hit him with that short route, and he's 10 yards off him every time. A.J. Brown, just throw it right to him. Kim Taylor-Britt, you can't one-hand catch it over A.J. Brown. It's a bit of a tougher task than those mid-receivers out there in Kansas City before they got D-Hop.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a Trayvon Diggs part 2 or 2.0, but I'm gonna go with the Bengals. You guys like the Eagles?
You love taking the Bengals. You know how many times Mackie said in the chat, "I'm not taking the Bengals anymore."
They're back.
Oh God, card them then. Card them. I might card the Eagles on the
I don't know. This is a close game. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to card them.
Are they ever touching your card again this year?
Bengals?
The Jets are on my no bet list. I'll tell you.
They might find my card this week. I don't know.
Mackie, you just said it time and time again. I'm done with these Bengals.
There's a reason I'm down 4 units.
Yeah, I can't wait till you have them on the card just so in the second quarter you can be like, I can't bet
on this team ever again. No, I probably won't because they're playing the Eagles. If they lose to the Eagles, it'll make me even more mad. But
what about that over though? I really like that over this week.
I think there will be a lot of points.
I said the Eagles first quarter, they don't really get off to slow or fast starts, but they do kind of they do start moving.
They get big touchdowns too. Both of these teams, big touchdown teams, like long ones.
Yeah, definitely. I don't mind the over.
Next game's not as exciting as this one, in my opinion. Saints at Chargers. Chargers a 7.5 point home favorite. We can be quick on this one. Over under 40.5. Chargers -350. Saints +280. My opinion is I'm not betting on this game.
I think the Chargers win, but I'm not trusting the Chargers with a 7.5 point spread, especially if it's Rattler at the helm. Dobbins finds the end zone. Harbaugh's the better coach. The Saints got their big win last week, or got their lights knocked out last week at the Sean Payton in the return. So I think they stay cold.
Give me a McConkey touchdown in this one. That'll be my fun pick.
Everyone's on him.
McConkey.
Everyone's on him. I'm gonna go under 40.5. Boring game.
Does Alvin Kamara find usage in the end zone again?
Alvin Kamara is useless past few
Alvin
weeks.
Kamara, 2
Because
years.
Spencer Rattler is terrible. We learned this when he was a Heisman favorite and turned out to be nothing. He's terrible.
Bench for Caleb Williams. Was
there someone in between that? I don't.
No, it went from Rattler to
It
Williams.
was Caleb Williams. Yeah. All right, Buffalo Bills at Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks 3-point home favorite. Over under 47. Bills minus 160. Seahawks plus 135. I'll start us out on this one. I love the over here. I know it's a far road trip for the Bills. I lean the Bills -3 and the over 47. Seahawks coming off a huge win in Atlanta. All of us were big on the Falcons last week. I have them coming home, catching a loss to Buffalo. More importantly, I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Give me over 47.
Yeah, the fact that the Seattle Seahawks keep rattling off these wins, I know they're only, 4-3, is crazy. We were writing them off so much, and Geno Smith not writing back, leading the league in passing. He's got all those weapons on the outside. He's got 2 good running backs, too. He's playing good football. I still don't think they're a good team, though. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills here. Hopefully they get James Cook back. They got Amari Cooper involved early and often last week. Keon Coleman has his best game as a pro. Kincaid's getting more up to speed. Defense a little bit weary. I think they can get back to life a little bit here. Love that they're at plus money. Going to have them and the Eagles on my card with the plus sign next to them.
Yeah, I don't love this game. I'm probably not going to have a play on it. Josh Allen's having a career year, 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think it's 0 turnovers altogether. You don't see that much out of him. But I do like the Bills here. I can't keep fading the Seahawks team. I'm not hiring them. They keep kind of proving me wrong. They killed me for two units last week. You can see Kenneth Walker get in the end zone. I do like the over as well. I lean Bills, but I'm not going to touch it.
This is a good running back parlay touchdown anytime game here. You get Cook if he's healthy and Kenneth Walker. I think they both find pay dirt.
Another decent game out of Amari Cooper.
I think you'll get another mark.
Yeah, he'll be involved
on this one.
Josh Allen's playing winning football. I love it. Their offensive coordinator got him doing the right thing. He's spreading the ball whoever's open because Kincaid's great, Coleman's great, Shakir's good, Cooper's great, Cook's solid. I mean, they have Samuel in Hollins. That's just Knox too. I mean, that's a great offensive room. You have
And
weapons
a good
everywhere.
offensive line.
You can trust everybody you throw the ball to.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Next game, the number 1 versus number 2 overall pick, but Jaden Daniels not playing in this one. This one was
sad.
obviously
That's
had
sad.
big implications
Brutal.
coming into this. This would have been a great game. Bears at Commanders. Commanders 2.5-point home dog. Over under 43. Commanders plus 125. Bears minus 150. I like the Bears here.
I know
I'm
Mac
on
does too. I'm on
I'm
the
on the
Commanders.
I'm on the Bears.
The
I
Commanders
think
on the money line.
I think it comes down to the defenses. Washington has a pretty brutal defense.
Yeah.
Bears have a very underrated defense, in my opinion. They've been playing really well all season. And Caleb Williams has found his stride. 4 touchdown passes, 6 touchdown passes in the last 2 games, 4 in the last game. He's playing really good football. He's spreading the ball around. He's all the weapons. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Who am I missing there? Rome, I guess, if you want to count him.
Rome,
Dante.
DeAndre, Cole Kmet.
Yeah. He has everyone there.
Roshan Johnson. I like him.
I think they do just enough and win this football game. Obviously, with no Jaden Daniels,
It takes the hype out of it.
It takes the hype out of the entire game. Everyone wanted to see 1 versus 2, but I think Caleb Williams gets the job done. They cover the 3 points.
I can guarantee you guys I'm not betting on this game. This is just for the sake of conversation that I'm taking the Commanders. I just think they're able to rally around Marcus Mariota like they did last week. They stomped the Panthers and gave them a lot of momentum heading into this one. And they're playing for that NFC East title. They're leading it right now. I think that everybody rallies around what they have. I love Cliff Kingsbury, too. I think he's one of the best coordinators in the league. If anybody can make it work with Mariota and his skill set, it will be him. They have good pieces around them, too. I like B-Rob. I like McLaurin. I like Ertz, too. Yeah, not my favorite pick. I'm not going to card this one, but I think that the Commanders continue their strong success of the season, rally around their backup QB, and with a good sense of team. I like their coach. I like their OC. I like the group that they got going on there. Home dogs, too. You got to love that, right?
Yeah, true. And a veteran quarterback doing it. I'm not overlooking Mariota. It's kind of like what Mackie said, though. I just like the defense. More for the Bears, more than the Commanders. But next game, Panthers at Broncos. Broncos are a 10-point home favorite, over under 42. Broncos money line is minus 500. Panthers plus 375. Bryce Young is
Bryce
back.
Young.
For the Panthers.
Disgusting.
I like the Broncos minus 10.
Is this
If you were to tell me before the
Bryce
season the
Young
Broncos
wins
were
his
ever-
job back? Bryce Young's going to win his job back
No.
this week
Come
against
on.
one of the best pass defenses.
I'm done defending Bryce Young. That was last year.
You guys
If
are
they
on
can-
your
if they
Bryce
can-
Young high horse.
if they can, hey buddy, Derek Carr is back up. Spencer
Who
the
are
Rat.
you taking right now?
I'd probably still take fucking
Bryce
Bryce
Young.
Young.
Shut up!
No,
Shut
you
your
would
mouth.
though. If you were to trade for any of them, who are you trading for? Derek Carr or Bryce Young?
Derek Carr. There's zero dude. Bryce Young should
No.
not even be in the league.
I will have a graphic
I
out on
really
this by
wish
the end
he
of the day tomorrow.
I wish Bryce Young went to either the Rams or the Dolphins and shown you Mackie how good he can be.
Oh my God, what is going on right now? You guys are just doing this to get me mad. I know you are.
No,
Hey,
It's
you know what's
no,
crazy
no,
though?
no.
Is I think imagine they went on the money line though. Huff and I are gonna be so back on Bryce Young.
I like Bo Nix though. Give me the Broncos -10. I think
Oh,
Sean
I
Payton
can't
schemes
bet on
this
Bo
up. I
Nix.
think
Yeah,
the
you-
Panthers are bad. I like the Broncos -10.
I think Bro Nix is cool. I think he has like attributes. Just can't bet on him. I don't trust him as a passer, but they just keep winning games. What a cakewalk schedule for these Denver Broncos to get to a crazy record, huh?
Yeah.
They're gonna win this week, but I don't know if they
That's
cover
an
10.
hater over there.
They're not good at all, though. They're not good at all.
We can be quick on that one. The next one's also not that good. Chiefs -10 at the Raiders. Over under 41.5.
This is the Mahomes revenge
minus-
game. Remember what they did in the summer?
Chiefs -550.
Oh,
Raiders
yeah.
400.
This is the Mahomes game where he snaps. He's got to.
I'm taking the Raiders +10.
Did you
Chiefs
not
don't cover
see?
big
They
spread.
tried
I don't
to
care about
clown
the
the
Kermit
best
doll.
player
I
in
do
the
not-
league.
I don't care about the Kermit doll. Chiefs and Mahomes don't cover big spreads. At the Raiders in Vegas, divisional matchup. I'm going to convince myself the Raiders cover 10. I'm probably not going to bet it. If I'm leaning aside, it's the Raiders.
Patriots dynasty arc for the Chiefs here. They're just like not even trying and putting up an undefeated record. I think maybe people have been slapping Mahomes in the face too much lately, so he finally goes off and snaps off against a terrible defense.
Chiefs by
D-Hop.
25.
Is D-Hop getting in this week? I think he is.
Yeah, I think they're gonna force it.
And also, how good is Kareem Hunt? Really, I've taken him on the card 3 times for an anytime touchdown. It's hit every single time. He's looked insane. That defense, that Chiefs defense looks great too. It looks like one of the best ones in the league. Steve Spagnuolo putting it together.
Yeah, and they get down there and they're not risking Patrick Mahomes' body, so obviously they're handing it off every time. So you get inside the
Until
5-yard line.
Mahomes goes in the end zone and just bodies up your safety.
Did you
sends
see that?
him
That was
back to the lobby?
crazy.
Yeah, that's great. Mahomes is good. He doesn't even have to try.
Yeah, sorry to get off topic here. My buddies were trying to tell me he's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this
Okay.
season.
Yeah, like
I'm just like, Hanson's one of them. But
Mahomes,
he's like
He's a Chargers
okay.
fan. So
Statistically, this season he's
that's
not a top 5 quarterback.
it's not all about the stats. Like
Yeah.
the guy gets the job done when it's needed, and he has 0 weapons. He has no wide receiver 1, 2, or 3
undefeated.
out. He doesn't have a starting cornerback on defense. This guy's 6-0 and he's getting the job done. People still say he's not a top 5 quarterback this year. I'm like, if you were to trade him to any single team in the NFL,
They'd be
that team gets better.
favorites. They'd be
That
favorites.
means he's the best quarterback in the league.
And he's not even trying. Yeah, I've seen this story before.
Sunday Night Football, we have a good matchup. Daki's Dallas Cowboy. At least on paper, we have a
I
good
don't think it's a
matchup.
good matchup.
Yeah, and then you look at the records.
No,
'cause
this is a great matchup. It's gonna be a
No.
good game.
Cowboys
be a
at
good game.
Niners. Niners 4-point favorite. Over under 46.5. Niners -200 on the money line, and Cowboys +165. I like the Cowboys +4.
Yeah, I'm not going to be betting on the Cowboys. I can promise you that. They look like they're playing Mickey Mouse football right now. But Niners, on the other hand,
I'm off the bye week. This is huge. They've been preparing for this game for 2 weeks.
yeah, it doesn't mean much, to be honest. But Niners don't look good either. I think it's going to be a decent game, but
It's gonna be a competitive game.
I'm not going to take the Niners. I think that they probably win because I'm not high on the Cowboys at all this year. But
Ayuk's out for the year. Debo's questionable with
Ayuk
the
was out for
pneumonia.
the year since week 1.
No, I agree with that. But Debo with the pneumonia now, you don't even know if he's going to play. He was just hospitalized, missed last week's game. George Kittle, high ankle sprain. Is he going to play? Jordan Mason's been the brightest spot on the team outside of Brock Purdy. I know
He can't
Purdy's had
find the end zone. He's allergic.
turnover problems of late. Yeah, they got the healthiest receiver on the team is the one who got shot only a few months ago. Jawan Jennings, if he can come back into the mix, though, I think he's actually had a great year. He has a good rapport with Brock Purdy too. We saw what he did a few weeks ago when he stepped in for Ayuk and Debo. He went for what? He went nuclear for 3 touchdowns and 170 yards. So maybe they get him back involved. I think CeeDee Lamb continues his year of success as one of the best receivers in the league. I think it's going to be competitive, though. Who is going to win this game? It's in AT&T, so that means the Cowboys have to lose. So I'm going to go with the Niners here this week.
It's in San Fran.
All right, well, that means that the Cowboys should probably win this week then.
I like
Yeah,
I
shitty
like
game.
Cowboys +4. Monday Night
On
Football.
the money line too, they're 1-0 for me on the SNF card. What's that money line sitting at for the Cowboys?
+165.
Jake Ferguson's still going. I'm really high on Jalen Tolbert out of all people. I think he's a great player. Turpin's another guy they've been getting involved too. I like Dak. They have more healthy options. I think it's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a good game. It's gonna blow up late. It's gonna start slow and it's gonna end like 27-24. Give me the Cowboys.
All right, and we move to Monday Night Football, where the Giants are heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Steelers are a 6.5-point home favorite. Over under 36.5. Steelers money line -300. On Giants +240. Obviously, Giants have not looked good the past few weeks. Steelers coming off a 37-15 win over the Jets, also in the primetime, back-to-back primetime games for us. I'm going to take the Steelers here to cover. I think I don't know if I like this under as much. The way that that game went last week, the defense obviously led up their chances. Jets only got 15, but I think the Giants are not going to get even that. I like maybe a Steelers 20-10 win.
Is that MetLife?
That would go under. No, it's at Heinz Field.
All right, good. So that means the Giants can get in the end zone.
I like the Steelers minus the 6.5. I think it'll be a 21-20 or to 10. So like 21-10 or 20-10.
Yingers fans, I'm sorry for the flack all year. I think I just need to reevaluate the way I look at everything because there's just so many bad NFL teams in the league that Mike Tomlin's just winning games, and it's just like, well, they're not good, but Mike Tomlin's gonna get it done. George Pickens is really good. Najee Harris come back to life. They got Warren looking healthy, which is nice to see. The defense is great, and Russell Wilson's meh, but if he keeps getting turnovers from that great defense, he's gonna put points up. If there ever was a game for the New York Giants to upset someone, it would be this week because I still don't think the Steelers are that good. And the thing is, they can't really do too much on offense. Daniel Jones and co. You got to think Malik Neighbors gets going. He was kind of stifled last week, so hopefully he can get
defense
going.
To get going against.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think if anybody can, it's him. Though I think he is that good that he's defense proof. He can still have a successful game no matter who he plays. But then again, it's Daniel Jones throwing you the rock.
Daniel Jones benched last week.
Yeah, so that I mean, I was kind of just rested for the late game. Tyron Tracy looks good. If there's ever a spot for this team, though, you know who's going to have a terrible game this week, Huff, is Russell Wilson. I think that's actually. You want to know why? No, listen, hear me out. Hear me out.
God.
So I was low on him. I was really low on him.
You are low on him. Just keep going. There's no high end of this.
No,
you are low on him.
No, but hear me out for this take. I think that he would have a better week against other teams. I'm really high on the George Pickens stock, the Freiermuth stock, and that's because of Russell Wilson. But this is actually the toughest defense to play against, especially for a team with a battle line. They have the best defensive line in the NFL, I think. They have Brian Burns, who's playing up to his potential in his contract. Dexter Lawrence is playing up. He has the most sacks in the league.
Thibodeau.
We saw the Eagles get decimated last week. They're doing it to every team. Joe Burrow was under duress all game. Azeez Ojulari stepping up too. It's the only strong point of the New York Giants, and the only reason they're not getting blown out is because that D line is scary. And I think Russell Wilson is going to go down a lot this week.
I'll give you a fun one in this one. I like there to be a Steelers defensive touchdown against Daniel Jones. I don't know the odds on that, but I have the Steelers 20-10, 21-10 somewhere.
Ace, I do like those takes, but I like the under mostly here, under 36.5. I don't think Daniel Jones has ever won a primetime football game. He might be like
has he won a football game? I don't know.
But no way the Giants win this game. I'm going to say 14-10 though. It's going to be a bit of more of a nail biter than you think. How many primetime games are these fucking Steelers going to get?
I know, like what the hell? It's like the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is the last of our stretch because it was 2 or what was it? 3 weeks ago against the Cowboys. It was Cowboys Sunday night, week 5.
Jets.
And then Jets was week 7. Now this is week 8.
But
I'm sick of going to these fucking night games. Can I get a Sunday 1:00 game? I'm sick of going into work hungover as shit.
I think I might have the same take I have. Remember that Bengals Giants game? This kind of reminds me of that. And remember I hit that crazy sack parlay. It was Burns, Hendrickson, and Lawrence. Call me crazy, but I might run that back with Lawrence, Burns, and TJ Watt and get it like plus 1,000 odds for the 3 of them all to get a sack. I love that.
Steelers defense surprisingly did not have a sack against the Jets this week.
Aaron Rodgers is good at getting the
Russell
ball
Wilson
away.
did not get sacked either.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is too. That's veteran quarterbacks, right?
There's never sacks in that game. Yeah, that's the difference between him and Justin Fields. When he sees pressure, he just throws it away. When Justin Fields sees pressure, he tries to run, he gets shoelace tackled.
Yeah, but I think this week he's gonna find the ground. That Giants defense. You remember watching
Najee
it
Harris also has totally found himself, but he is totally back.
Yeah, he's a good running back. He's too good not to. But that Giants defense, if you watched the first half of that Eagles-Giants game last week, it looked like everybody was going 3 and out on 3rd and 20 every time. It was a sack every play. So I think there's going to be a lot of sacks flying both ways. If you guys have props in your book for those sacks, even a good guy like TJ Watt is at like plus 100 to get a sack in a game.
Yeah.
I love those odds.
It's because you don't hit on a half. You have to get the full sack, right?
Yeah. And I think they'll all get it.
All right, that's our NFL Week 8 slate. So make sure you're staying tuned for our NFL live stream on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. We'll go live for our top 5 NFL games on Week 8. We'll jump into the NHL, which got started. Like we said, in full swing. We have our power rankings for the week. Utah making their debut at the number 5 spot. New Jersey Devils at 4. Winnipeg Jets at 3. Dallas Stars at 2. And Mackie, your New York Rangers at number 1. What do you guys think about this list?
Rangers are definitely great.
Sick.
Yeah,
Rangers
they're
are
great.
filthy. They're putting
Minus
everything together.
1.5.
I think
Take them on the minus 1.5
like-
plus money every night. It hits. I mean, I don't know what else.
I think it's just Hedl being back. Hedl's come back. I mean, he was expected to play like this, but he was injured all last season. Playoffs came around. He didn't have the full swing. He just wasn't ready to jump into playoff
best
hockey
power
right
play in
away.
the NHL right now too.
It's just unbelievable. These guys putting everything together, and that third line, the production we're getting out of the third and fourth line has been incredible. Panarin had 1 point yesterday. They won 7-2. It's just it's fun to watch right now. Shesterkin's playing top of the line hockey right now as well. So no really weak points right now, but
3 in a row.
they've scored 4 goals in every single game.
Yeah, and you know what else is nice is the other Metro teams right on their heels. Those New Jersey Devils look
No, they're
great too.
not.
I think they are. I think they are. They will
played,
be
like,
at the end of the year
More
too.
games.
Yeah, but they will be at the end of the year. I think it's a 2-horse race. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are going to come in at that 3rd seed, maybe even 4th. The Islanders can push them. But I think that the New Jersey Devils are going to be that 2 in the Metro and give the Rangers probably not a run for their money, but they're going to be right there behind them. Jack Hughes looked great. He had that nice goal in the Frozen Frenzy yesterday. And they have a lot of other pieces they brought in this year to play along that team. Cotter coming in. They brought in Allen and Markstrom. There's pieces all around. So it's nice to see another valid team, and that's a nice little rivalry they got going there in the Metro. Speaking of the teams out west, Connor Hellebuck and Jake Ottinger both look great. I don't know if you guys saw that Hellebuck game-winning save the other day in the 3rd period, but he's one of the best goalies in the NHL, at least in the regular season. They fizzles out in the playoffs probably because he gets overplayed. But those 2 teams are right there. I think a couple of teams that just missed our rankings. I think the Golden Knights are really good once again. Still got to figure out their goaltending as well. They're a solid team. Who else do you guys think is really missing our top 5? The Minnesota Wild probably have got to get in our top 5 next week.
Calgary.
Minnesota Wild are undefeated, right?
Yeah, they've lost 2 in OT, but they have 0 regulation losses.
And they just pumped the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers don't look the best right now. I'd say the
They're banged
Wild.
up. Bob's been tough.
Knights look good again. Panthers obviously have that roster, but they're losing games. Caps 4-1, winning again right now. So I'm not gonna say they're
light schedule.
I meant to ask you guys
not
that.
gonna
Are
say
they
they're in the
actually
top
good?
5.
No, light schedule so far.
Yeah, but I mean it's NHL and you're getting these wins. I wouldn't put it
It
past.
matter just
one
as
They
much
actually-
as they do in March.
They've rebuilt around their old guys better than you guys did.
Yeah.
They have Dylan Strome. They have McMichael. They have Tom Wilson's playing his best hockey of his career on a friendly contract. He's playing to get on the 4 Nations thing. I know they teased those jerseys the other day. A lot of guys are getting that Nations tryout. I don't know if you guys saw Cassidy out in Vegas let Aiden Hill get a certain start so he could play in front of the Team Canada coaches as they hope to get him the starting nod up in Canada. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
My Brewers got to start playing a little bit better hockey, but we've been spoiled the last 2 years with crazy fucking seasons that saw us easily coast into the playoffs. So it makes sense that we have a better year. I think the Isles are a good team. The Canucks are a really good team. But that Frozen Frenzy last night was pretty awesome, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was cool. That was
All
definitely
32
really
teams
cool.
in action in one night with staggered start times too. The Avalanche are starting to put some wins together too. I think they're actually gonna be good. The Oilers and Avs. We saw McDavid get going with a nice McDavid-esque goal last night. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the hockey world. Vasilevsky playing some good hockey. He had a bad game the other day, but other than that, he's been solid. So we'll keep diving into that as it comes. But the NHL is heating up, and if we get more Frozen Frenzies, I'm gonna keep tuning into every game like I did.
NHL card 5-2, so we've started the NHL rather well. Make sure you're staying tuned for our World Series picks starting tomorrow. Like we said, we are positive in the MLB. NHL just over 3 units. I was looking for the units there. 5-2. plus 3.26 units to start out the season. Other than that, make sure you're staying tuned for our NFL live stream on Sunday. Go through like I said, our top 5 games, give out all of our NFL picks. Like I said, World Series, NHL, NBA underway now. We got 6 NBA plays on the card tonight. Big slate, kind of similar to that Frozen Frenzy last night. I think every team but a few are playing in the NBA tonight. So we'll see how that goes for us. But make sure it's get those post notifications on so you don't miss any of our free plays leading up to Sunday. But we will see you guys then for our NFL live stream. We'll see you next week for Week 9 in the NFL.
RIP to Stephon Pigs. Let's go Pig State.
I keep seeing that shit too. That's so funny.